Modern Talking, one of the most famous pop duos of pop history. The first album came out in early 1985. That means you are now celebrating 40 years of Modern Talking. And I understand you have a very special surprise for your fans.
Oh yes, because this is something, I'm touring, for so many years all over the world, and a lot of fans came to me and they ask for, the special new versions of the hits from Modern Talking. Because, in the 80s, it was kind of different than it is nowadays. And I was talking to Christian Geller, my producer, and we were talking about it might be a very fantastic idea for the 40th birthday of Modern Talking to make a project that means that I'm, reproducing and re-singing all the first six albums, the albums from the 80s, with the modern sound, but and on reverse, the typical iconic sounds from the 80s are still in. So this is something completely new. And as far as I know, no artist in Germany ever did this, that he was, re-singing his, songs from the past. So this will be, in the year 2025, we will release every 2 months the new album, the next album, from the first album to the sixth album of Modern Talking. And this is, for me, a very, very big challenge, and I love to do this.
I believe. You also have new songs, unreleased songs on these albums that make them very special.
These are new songs from me, and but they're still in the spirit and the sound of Modern Talking, and this makes it very, in a certain way, you won't believe it, but these are new songs and unreleased songs, and I hope the other fans will like it.
Do you remember the first time you ever met your partner, Dieter Bohlen?
Yes, yeah, and I'm not exactly, but when I'm looking back, I think we met. I met him in his home, one of the first homes he had. I was singing, maybe some of you will know F.R. David, with the big hit Words, and the follow-up single from Words was Pick Up the Phone. And, the record company was asking me if I would like to sing the German original version from Pick Up the Phone. And, we texted, Was macht das schon? And Dieter was the producer of this. So I just flew to Hamburg, met him in his home, and we went to the studio the next day, and I recorded this song. So this was the first time when we met, and this should be, I don't know, maybe around about 81, 82, something.
Possibly, yeah.
Yes, about right around that.
But this was the time when the producer and songwriter Dieter Bohlen found out that Thomas Anders was a great singer and had a cool voice.
Yes, he just called the record company and said, "I would love to work with this guy," and because he's really great and he's very talented and he has a good voice. And in the time after this, we just recorded several songs, even in German language. And one day I came to him and said, "Well, to be honest, they would never been successful. So they flopped. All of these singles flopped." And I came to him and I said, you know, you know, I love to sing English speaking songs and the English language. And what do you think about that? And he said, well, it's a bit difficult because, we were going to build you up as a German artist, and it's difficult that you sing a song in English and another song in German. So it makes no sense at all. But maybe I just triggered something. And one day he came to me and he said, do you have the time to record Catch Me, I'm Falling? And this was a song from the album from Real Life. And Real Life, were very very, very big
At the time.
at that time.
Send Me an Angel
Send Me
was
an
a big
Angel,
hit.
a big hit. So I said, yes, I do this. And maybe this worked, for his inspiration, that he thought I can work with Thomas in the English language. And but we never released it. We never released the song because it was the same publishing, and this song "Catch Me I'm Falling" was the second single. So it would be very stressful, if from the same publishing company a guy will release the same song. So Real Life said no way. But he found out that my voice is really good in the sound when I'm singing English. So, and the next step was when I was recording "You're My Heart, You're My Soul."
Yeah, that was a song that Dieter had composed. The original title, as he said, was My Love Is Gone, which turned into You're My Heart, You're My Soul, which is much better, of course.
Yes.
And
Thanks God.
this is what brought you together. But when you recorded the song, there was no Modern Talking yet. There was no band. There was no act. It was just you and the song, you two and the song.
Yes.
Who came up with the name Modern Talking when you found out, hey, now we have to form a musical act? Who came up with the idea of Modern Talking and why?
I was in the studio and recorded my new German single. And because, there was time left before I had to go to the airport, Dieter said to me, I wrote a song and you have time enough. Maybe you can rehearse for 15 minutes in the rehearsal room and then you can sing it. And I listened to "You're My Heart, You're My Soul" and I released it. But nobody at the record company believed in that song. They were focused on the point to build me up as a German artist.
Mm-hmm.
And, but, we said we want to, release "You're My Heart, You're My Soul." But like you said, there was no name. There was even no idea what a group, or is it for me a single song or whatever. But they don't want to name it Thomas Enders, and because they want to save my name for the German market, in the German language. So we were thinking about what could this be the name of the project in that times. And the secretary, she came up with the idea of modern talk. And I remember in that meeting, one of the record people came and said, we have two syllables at modern, so we can make it two for the second one, talk in. So modern talk in, and it was born. That was it.
And at the time, you had acts like Talk from England. You had the Talking Heads from America. Yeah, so that was all.
Maybe it gave her some inspiration.
Yeah.
Maybe she just was looking into the charts.
Yeah.
And she saw Talk and Talking Heads, and
Yeah. So Modern Talking was born. It was you and Dieter. The single was released in the fall of 1984. But when it came out, it wasn't an instant hit. Many people believe it went straight to number one, which is not true.
Oh no, it was nothing. So we sold till the beginning. It was released in the end of September, beginning of October, something around about that. So we sold in 2 months 6,000 units, and at that time it was nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing, If you want to enter the charts, at least you had to sell 40,000 units in a month. So nobody believed in it. Not the industry, not the record company, nobody. And, then we had the Christmas season. And after the Christmas season, the beginning of January, everybody, the offices, just opened, and a new year, was on its way. And I called the record company, and the secretary was the phone, and I said, I just want to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. It was the holidays, and so on. And send me something. What about the sales of "You're My Heart, You're My Soul"? And, we didn't have facsimile, so we had telex.
Telex, yeah.
Yes. Maybe some of you won't remember, but it was telex was a different style of communication, and she was, looking for the sales, and then she said to me, "No, this is not true. They made the wrong printing. I will call you back in 10 minutes." So she called.
Printing mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a mistake,
Yeah.
because this is not.
The figure was not realistic to her.
No. And so she called back 10 minutes later, and she said, "It's really true. You sold in Modern Talking sold in the last 4 weeks 60,000 units."
Wow. Yeah.
And that meant that we will enter the charts the week after. That meant we had a big TV show in Germany. It was called Formula One. And every new chart entry, had the chance to perform or just to present the video in this
Sure.
weekly show.
Yeah.
So we knew, okay, we will be in the charts. That means we need a video or a performance or whatever. And that means we need a second person. So, the record company said, "Dieter, you have to be on the side of Thomas." And then we had it was not the first TV performance. It was the first with our chart song, "You My Heart, You My Soul."
Wow. Yeah. And then you had the next single coming up, "You Can Win If You Want," followed by "Cherry, Cherry Lady," and they all went to #1.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, you had two unknown artists, Dieter Bohlen, who was mainly a producer and songwriter before, and you as a singer without a hit yet. Mm-hmm. Now you're Modern Talking, and all the songs go to #1. You become a star basically overnight.
More or less.
More or less. You had time to practice, but you can never learn what it does to you when overnight the whole world wants a piece of you. Mm-hmm. And how did you work with that? What did it do to you to be all of a sudden in a focus, in a spotlight?
At the very beginning, it was fun, and I was very proud. All my life I dreamt about, being into the charts. And now after, when we just entered the charts and in February 1985, we've been #1 in Germany. So it's not only in entering in the charts, it was the top of the charts. It was the top of the pops.
And where do you go from there?
Yes.
First thought.
Yeah, but everything was very exciting.
Yeah.
It was a new world, with TV shows and interviews, autographs, photos, print media,
video shoots.
It was really crazy at that time.
It's what you always wanted to do with your life.
Yes, but in my imagination, I thought it would be slower. Mm-hmm. Climbing up the stairs would be slower,
step by step,
and not this jump. From the basement, in the penthouse suite. Yeah. So,
like a rocket, you were shot into outer space.
But I've been there. So what was very funny, the head of the record company came to me and he said, "Really enjoy this moment because it will be the last #1 in your complete life." And then we released "You Can Win If You Want." I think after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we went #1. Then he came to me, "Oh, I've never seen it that often. 2 #1s in a row. Please enjoy. It will be the last in your complete life." So in September, "Cherry, Cherry Lady," went #1 in Germany. And he came to me and I said, "I don't believe you anymore. So this is it." That showed me that there was something very big going on.
And it was.
It was.
In the very beginning of Modern Talking, when you were on stage, you were playing the guitar.
Oh, yes.
Which is a mix of a keyboard and a guitar. And
it was very famous and very new, very trendy.
Back in the day, yeah. I think today they're not even manufactured anymore. Mm-hmm. But then you left them out.
Yes.
after a couple of songs
Yes.
and videos. Why?
I needed more space. Because this you have to work with two hands on it, and it was only possible with a mic stand. But I love to perform on stage. I love to move on stage, and this was not possible. You were fixed on a special point, and I really was talking to the record company, and I said, this is not sexy because we have two people. One is standing with a guitar on a mic stand, and me with a guitar on a mic stand, because I think we need something more in the opposite, And then from Sherry Sherry Lady on, this instrument was history.
For the new re-recordings of the Modern Talking albums, you have a very nice idea for the cover artwork. It shows you present day compared with the Thomas Anders of the mid-'80s.
Yes.
On each cover. And it says, Thomas Anders sings Modern Talking. What would the present day Thomas tell the young Thomas? Do you have an idea?
These covers are very, I will say very emotional.
Yeah.
Because the present Thomas Anders is looking at his younger me. So this is very emotional. And when you think about it, they are nearly 40 years in between these two pictures. And what would I say to the younger Thomas? I would say be more crazy, be more free, enjoy more what you live. Just live it more, because life is really short. And I was always very disciplined and
very serious.
Yes, serious, and how to say, I wanted to do it perfect. And I would say, don't think too much about the future. Go for it.
Enjoy the moment.
Go for it now.
Yeah.
Now is the time.
Yeah. The first Modern Talking era lasted from end of 1984 to end of 1987, roughly, which is 3 years. A lot happened, and everybody is aware, I guess, that Thomas Anders and Dieter Bohlen are two different characters, which is good, but also there started some friction between you. And in the end of 1987, the dream Modern Talking was over. Why do you think is that?
Well, I think because of our different characters, because of our different perspective on life, and I think we've been exhausted from each other, because you have to think about that, but the very beginning, like I said, it was a jump from the base level to the penthouse. It was, every day was recording, video shooting, press interviews, photo sessions, traveling. Sometimes I just felt the only private sphere, the private place I have, is when I'm on toilet. Because otherwise we've been together all the time.
Yeah.
And we've been, character-wise, from our personalities, we are completely the opposite. This is, to put it on the point, this is not bad. But if you're being glued together for nearly 3 years, then it's very difficult.
Exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. Okay. And after Modern Talking was over, you had a chance to breathe and to relax for a while.
Yes.
Or did you just already think about a solo career to follow?
Yeah, I will never forget, when Modern Talking, just quit. I think 2 days later, I got an offer from a big record company in Germany, and they want to make a solo album. And my answer was, let me get out of here. I don't want to work now because I'm tired. I'm really tired. I just want to feel life. I just want to feel, that I'm alive, that there is something near the career and near TV studios and near, photo sessions and so on. And I just decided to go to Los Angeles.
The capital of entertainment.
Yes, it was for me the capital of nice weather.
Sunny California. It never rains in Southern California.
But it pours. But so I think to going, to Los Angeles was because I wanted to go as far as I could from Germany, from the press, from yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Modern Talking was never that big in America,
Yes.
so you had your privacy.
Yes, it's just
You could
privacy.
be Thomas and be
the private
alone.
Thomas.
Yeah.
And I could breathe.
After a while in America, you had recovered, you got back your strength, and you wanted to continue music. And I understand that in California, you have met with some of your idols and heroes from back in the early days, like Barry Manilow and Lionel Richie.
And Peter Cetera as well. So,
Chicago, yeah.
like you said, I got my strength and my power back. And I wanted to make music again. And the love for music came back. So I was in contact with the management and with the artists. And these artists are not only singers, like Lionel Richie, Barry Manilow, Peter Cetera, they're producers by themselves. So I wanted them that they produce my new album. But
Great idea.
it's it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But after talking to my new record company, I just signed a new record contract. Well, I was put back in reality because this album was in in the amount of round about 1.5 million US dollars, and this was not possible to make the finance stuff. And but even when I'm looking back, even today, I'm happy that I met these guys, and had the chance just to meet them and talk to them.
Especially Barry Manilow plays an important role in your life as an artist.
Yes.
From your early days on.
Yes, very early. I'm from Germany, and when I was a kid and I was singing songs, these were German songs.
Schlager.
Yes.
German Schlager.
German Schlager. Friends from my parents, or from my family, they made a trip through America in their times, and they brought me as a present an album from Barry Manilow. And I was positively shocked because I heard music which was so different from the German Schlager. It was, the arrangements.
Dramatic, emotional.
Yes, but the melodies even commercial, but different.
Yeah.
And I, said, wow, this is it. And from these days, I was, looking for Manilow songs and Manilow albums. Barry Manilow was an inspiration a big inspiration in these times. And I tell you a very funny story. When I just moved to Los Angeles, first I rented a house, and it was nearly completely empty, but in that house was a grand piano with a grand piano seat. And the seat was a bit like a box. You can open, the seed for the notes. And this is really true. And it gives me goosebumps. I just rented that house. It was only the piano. It was only the seed. I opened the seed, and there was a songbook from Barry Manilow lying in there.
You can't make that up.
No. And I said, there must be something between Earth and, the universe.
a sign, yeah.
Yes. And, I was completely flashed. And yes, this just came up in my mind.
And you also play the piano. You learned how to play
Yes.
the piano like 7, 8 years old. And later on, you got to meet Barry Manilow also in a German concert, right?
Yes, this was earlier.
Oh, that was even earlier.
This was earlier. This was in the end.
When you were still in Modern Talking.
Short after the break.
Okay.
And he had a concert in Frankfurt, and we met each other.
You were a star. He was a big superstar.
From America.
Yeah.
So.
How was he like? Was he nice? Was he...
Yes, he was nice. It was after the show,
Yeah.
and I know how it is to meet, people you don't know after the show. You're kind of exhausted, but he was nice. I had the situation just to ask him if I can imagine just to produce me. And he was asking me, and he said, "Oh, why not?" Sure, we're big buddies. But how many records did you sell till today? And I said 60 million. And he said 16. And I said, no, 60. He said, oh my God, this is a lot. So when we met so many years later, he just remembered that. Because this was something was going through his head that he said, oh, such a young guy. And, I was 25. And 60 million records sold. This is, something very, very unusual. But we never worked together, and I'm fine with the situation. I made my career.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's amazing is that you have just completed an American tour playing in the key markets, New York, New Jersey, Miami, Chicago, Houston, California, LA, San Jose. And it wasn't even your first tour, I understand.
No, it was the fourth one.
Wow. Why do you think you are so popular in America? Modern Talking never had that many hits over there.
Not really. For me, the secret behind it is that a lot of people are immigrants, to the States. And there are a lot of communities. For example, if you go to Chicago, round about Chicago, you have more or less 600, 700,000 Polish people.
Yeah.
Or if you take Los Angeles, this is...
many Ukrainians, I know.
Ukrainian, but the biggest community of round about LA and LA County are Iranians, Persians.
Yeah.
The biggest community outside of Iran lives in and outer Los Angeles.
Yeah.
A lot of Asian people around with Houston, a lot of South American people in Miami, and
those are countries where Modern Talking was huge.
But these people who are coming to my shows are now, married or had a relationship with the American people. So the mixture of it, I will say it's half, to say, typical American and some immigrants. But you can't say immigrants because these people live for around about 20, 25 years, 30 years in the States.
Almost everybody in America is
they are more American than they are Polish, or Asian or whatever. But, this is a memory of the older days, and they're listening to the songs from Modern Talking. And what I found out, there's still fans today, and they listening to the songs from Modern Talking. And, it's even easier today because you can stream it all over the world.
Yeah.
So even if you're in South America, Asia, Australia, whatever, so this is the secret of the success.
What kind of songs do you do? Obviously, you do all the big hits of modern talking. You do your personal Thomas Anders songs in English. Do you also throw in a cover version sometime? Do you have some cover versions that you play there?
Yes, it depends always on my concept of the show, because I'm changing it every 2 years. And for sure, I will always say the big five are in, the big five number ones from Germany, everybody knows.
Yeah.
And then I'm changing, and the concept of this tour at the moment is very reflecting the 80s because of this project, that I'm recording the new albums.
You're recording this first 6 modern talking albums.
And then I'm, singing more songs from these iconic albums, from the first album, the second album, the third album. Yes, this is, for me always interesting when I'm standing on stage and, looking at the people, watching the people.
Having fun.
Yeah, and, I can see in their brains, there's a movie picture going through.
The memory machine.
The memory machine is rolling, yeah.
Yeah. That's great. It's great when music does that. Everybody has a story. Everybody remembers who was I in love with when You're My Heart, You're My Soul came out. What was my partner's name, and where did we meet and fall in love?
Is it still the same name?
Yeah, is it still the name? Yeah, maybe not. Yeah. That's interesting, yeah. And so you're basically busier than ever now. 40 years into your career, 40 plus years into your career, going to America, you're going to France, you're going all over Germany, all over Europe. Basically, you are constantly traveling. You have your own TV show where you cook, you produce your own wine, you have different herbals, different businesses going on. Are you a workaholic?
No. No, I'm not a work. No, don't want to, give me the name workaholic. I love what I'm doing, and I'm creative.
Gene Simmons from Kiss said to me in an interview he doesn't like the word workaholic because holic is always negative, as in alcoholic.
Yeah.
And work is fun. Work is good. It should be fun. So workaholic is a bad word for him.
Because it had always, workaholic always a twist from
negative.
You work too much and you don't feel it.
Yeah.
Yes. Workaholic is always the entrance to a burnout.
Yes. Yeah.
But this is not true in my case.
In your case, yeah.
In my case, because I love what I'm doing. Sometimes I think it could be a bit less. Okay, when I'm reflecting back last year, I had more or less 80 shows.
Wow.
Okay, plus TV shows, plus. Maybe it sounds strange, but I soak energy from my work because it gives me wings. And, when it's successful, it even, pushes you higher.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody once said, if you enjoy what you do, you never worked a day in your life.
Yes. Yes.
Because it's not called work.
It's not. No, it is no work. You maybe you can say, if you love what you're doing, you're spending your time with the love of what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's not working.
During your career, you have sold about 130 million records. You got countless awards from all over the world. A Bravo Golden Auto Award where you beat Duran Duran and Spandau Ballet back in 1985. And, of course, what's very important for every musician, we brought this. It says Thomas Anders, 500,000 singles sold in Germany for You're My Heart, You're My Soul. This is your very first gold single.
Not really.
Oh.
Yes, it is. we made in Germany with You're My Heart, You're My Soul. It was the first country we made gold.
Okay.
but we didn't have the time to present the awards. So the next country with a gold award was France. And we had a TV show in France in June, and after this we had a big dinner, and then the head of the record company presented us the French gold record. But so this was the first gold record I had in my hands, but numerously, the first gold record is this, what you keep in your hands now.
So you should keep it in your hands.
Thank you so much for getting it back.
In 2025, you are spending a lot of time celebrating the history of modern talking with 6 re-recorded albums with brand new cover artwork, plus new songs and a collector's fan box. So it will be a lot of modern talking in 2025. And you are keeping the modern talking legacy fresh, I think.
Yes, this, I will say this is a privilege doing this, and this is my respect for the music of modern talking. This is my respect for the songs, for the compositions from Dieter Bohlen he wrote. And this is for me something which really touches my heart, because I can give so much back to the fans, and to re-record the songs. It's just a memory lane.
Yeah, it brings back memories.
I'm traveling.
Absolutely.
When I'm in the studio and singing a song, from the very first albums, which I haven't heard since 35 years or whatever. So, but I'm still in that kind of mood.
Yeah.
And what really is interesting for me is the fact that when I'm doing the interpretation, I have the same interpretation I had 40 years ago. It's the same, I sing it the same like I did it 40 years ago. Maybe today my voice is a bit, has more volume. It's more adult.
Yeah.
But I'm absolutely 100,000% sure that all the fans and the people that will listen to that kind of music, they had like a time flash. This is 80s, but it sounds like 25 with iconic sounds from the 80s. And I'm pretty sure that the people, they have their own, head cinema, they had pictures going around, and I cross my fingers that they will love it.
And I'm sure that when you look at the moment to like TikTok and Instagram, and you see and hear music like Brother Louie Louie for different memes, that those new album projects will also attract a younger audience that now get in touch with modern talking and discover the music of modern talking.
Yeah, yes. But, I see when I'm, in my concerts, when I'm on stage and looking to the people, it's very, very often that when I'm talking to the people, a lot of people are in the mid-20s.
Yeah. They haven't been around when you were...
They were liquid.
Yeah.
So they haven't really not be around.
Yeah.
And that's great.
But I think the music will appeal to a younger audience as well.
Yes.
Because it's timeless pop.
Sometimes when I have the time or the possibility to talk to these people, they say, well, my parents just listen to that music and it touches me. And we don't have, in this typical America, we don't have that kind of Euro pop. This is very rare.
Yes.
Other people say, well, I just listened to it on the radio, and it was a program where they play some European music, and I just felt so in love with that kind of music, and I just read that you're here in the city, and I bought my tickets. So there are, a lot of people coming around, even younger ones.
Modern talking, the music is here to stay.
Yes. I think so, yes.
I would like to thank you very much for taking the time
Thank you so
It's
much.
a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much. And we'll see each other in 10 years for 50 years of modern
I
talking,
hope.
right?
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thanks.